guys and gals, and over here from Drake Wing Gaming, 70 Mile on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Leigh's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. Why? It sounds like it's time for us to have another visit. She said we would come back, right? She wouldn't be upset. She always enjoys meeting new people. Leigh suddenly looks a lot paler than he did moments ago, and I don't get why. Miss Corrin was a pretty amazing person. She'll get along great with everyone. Why does he look so worried? I don't want to ask him about it in front of everyone else in case it's private, but I'll have to ask him about it before we get there. Oh, are we going on an investigation? I guess we're junior detectives now. Aren't we a little old to be junior detectives? I don't think you're ever too young to be a junior detective. Plus, we're not going to investigate. We're just going to talk to Miss Corrin. Someone she knew passed away. It's not fun and laughter. Right, I wasn't really thinking. Sorry, man. You don't have to apologize to us. We just need to remember to be sensitive about it. I'll be on my best behavior, I promise. That settles it. Leigh, lead the way. With a massive sigh that's not doing a good job at hiding how unsure he is about this trip, he slides out of the bench with a careful effort to not knock me off. Alright, it's not too far from here, but it will still be a decent walk. Be careful, though. Most of the kids will be outside, and they get very excited when new people come. Expect them to be very grabby. I don't do well with kids. Kids love me, so I'll stick around and keep their attention. Sound good? Yes, actually, that would be very nice. Thank you. With all that settled, we all got up to walk, but I stop when Lily pulls on my arm, putting distance between us and the others. Oscar is too busy teasing Lucas for either of them to notice, but Leigh catches on immediately. Lily puts a finger to her lips and flashes him a reassuring smile. There looks to be an internal conflict in his head, but whichever side won, he decides he lets things be for now. What's wrong? Nothing major. I just wanted to have a little private talk while we have the chance. Have a little girl talk, you know? I guess. Good, because you're going to tell me all about last night. Lily made me recount every last detail of the previous night to hear. She wouldn't let me get away with vague details. No, she wanted to hear everything, especially what happened on the dance floor. I just hope Leigh won't mind me telling her about them. I have a feeling that he won't, but I can't be sure. It makes me feel a little guilty, but there's something about gossiping about it there's something fun about gossiping about it with Lily. I've never had anyone to do this with before. The only thing I kept quiet about was what happened with Leigh's father, and that's none of our business. Sounds like you two are making good progress. I knew you could do it. It's nothing too special. We're just, testing things out. That's how you start something truly special. Honestly, I'd be a little more worried if you two were rushing into things. Neither of you are particularly, spontaneous. Then again, maybe I need to reevaluate Leigh again. Sounds like he might be more of a wild one than I thought. I'll definitely have to convince him to take me out to a club one night. It was something I never thought I'd do. But did you enjoy it? Yeah, a lot, actually. I thought I would want to do it again, but it was so different from what I've been used to. Careful, you're beginning to sound like one of those girls who falls for the mafia bad boy. Next thing you know, you're going to be signing up for fight clubs to save your man. What? I'm kidding. Don't look so scared. Honestly, I think it's good for you. You're experiencing more, and isn't that what college is all about? Yeah, I was a little scared at first, but it ended up being a lot of fun. Yeah, it sounds like you two had a lot of fun, all right. Sounds like he couldn't keep his hands off you. I wish you'd tell me why. I don't think Leigh would appreciate that. It was kind of personal. Nope, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Just a little curious, you see. You know me. I get it. I know you don't mean anything bad by it. I appreciate it, really. Actually, there's something I want to tell you about. What is it? Well, I had another nightmare last night. Excuse me. There's a moment of silence between us as the weight of what I'm suggesting hangs between us, but she doesn't leave it for too long before she lays a reassuring hand on my arm. It's okay. You can talk to me about it. Was it like the others? Like the hospital? Kinda. Like, it wasn't really like the others, but it felt like it. I couldn't control myself. It was like someone else was using my body. That kinda just sounds like a regular dream, isn't it? We don't usually control how we are while we're sleeping. I suppose, but it felt different than that. I look ahead to make sure none of the others can hear us, but they're all distracted amongst themselves. Oscar's finally giving Lucas a break and has set his eyes on Leigh, constantly speaking to him in a low voice that I can't hear. But from the way Leigh's face heats up in the agitation, I can make out from his own hushed whispers, it isn't hard to guess what Oscar's interrogating him about. It probably wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for Lucas's own curiosity. It makes sense. He's probably the one who's been left the most out of what's been happening the last few days. He's got a lot to catch up on. It felt like a usual dream, but at the same time, it didn't. It's strange. What happened in it? I woke up in a house I've never been in before, but it felt nostalgic, just not to me. Are you sure you've never been there before? I'm positive. I explored around, but the details of everything was blurry. It was like I couldn't make out anything. Eventually, I got to the second floor, and I came across something I saw when I was exploring the hospital with Leigh, but after that, I woke up. Nothing else? Not really. It was a pretty short one, but it just felt surreal. Are you doing okay? I know your nightmares have been intense. I'm fine. It wasn't that bad. It's just a little unsettling, I guess. But I'm more curious what it means more than anything else. You still think there's something going on? I think it must mean something, right? Even you admitted it didn't seem like just nothing. I know I said that, but I still think you're overthinking it. Just don't stress yourself over it. You might be making the nightmares worse. Leigh said something similar. Maybe you should give listening to him a try. He gets it right sometimes, even if he has a bad habit of sticking his head in the ground. Both of us glance over at Leigh to make sure he didn't hear that, but it looks like he's still being harassed by Oscar, though calling that is unfair. He might look annoyed, but I can tell he's enjoying himself. Wow, you're so smitten. It's adorable. That bad, huh? You're staring at him all lovey-dovey. Maybe that's enough of this topic for now, then. But there's one thing I wanted to ask you, Wallace. Huh? It's just an offer, but if your nightmares are getting too bad, or if you just don't feel comfortable sleeping in your own place alone, you can always come crash at my place. We have a lot of space, and I told you before, but I doubt my dad would mind. We have a spare guest room if you wanted to bring Leigh along, too. What? Shh! My outburst has caught the attention of the others, but there isn't much concern as my brightly flushed face makes it clear there isn't anything in danger except my dignity, though the plotting smirk on Oscar's face doesn't help. There's no way your dad would be okay with Leigh and I staying over there together, especially in the same bed. Hey, I'll have you know my dad is really accepting and wouldn't care as long as neither of you were hooking up with me. To be honest, he'd probably be more comfortable with you two making out than if you were staying apart. Too much? Well, don't worry about it. It's only if things get a little too much, and like I said, you can stay over alone. Leigh doesn't have to come. I was just teasing. Thanks, it means a lot, and sorry I was being a little silly there. Don't worry, it's very cute, though we might have to cut our conversation short. It looks like Leigh and Oscar might get into a fight. Sure enough, Oscar's poking Leigh's buttons a little too much, and it looks like he's about to chew Oscar out. It's unlikely to get anywhere serious, even Lucas doesn't look too concerned. We've gotten so used to this that even Lucas isn't nervous about it anymore. I don't know if that's great or mildly troubling. We rejoined the others, much to Leigh's delight. He didn't make a fuss about it, but I could tell he wanted to check in on me to make sure I was okay. It's a little embarrassing that he's always doting on me, but now that I know he sees me as more than just a child, it's kind of nice. A little demeaning, but it's good to be pampered. But there wasn't much time to talk before we turned down a familiar road and saw that massive roof come into view. Leigh really wasn't kidding when he said that the kids would be outside. A lot of them must not have been home yet because the entire front yard is filled with kids. Most of them didn't look familiar at all, and from the kids I catch glimpses of running in the backyard, there's a lot more we can't see. All these kids stay here? There's so many. No, not this much. Most of these kids are visiting. Since the shelter is such a large yard and a lot of sports equipment out back, kids tend to come here. It's pretty cool that all these kids come to visit their friends. You think that these kids might get left out or something, you know? Nah, kids are pretty simple. They're not at the point where they live truly matters. They just want to kick a ball and eat ice cream. I doubt that. Kids are just as cruel. They just get away with it because they're young. Maybe it's the times. We always had a lot of kids showing up. It's nice to see them playing together. No one deserves to be alone. Yeah, hell, if you guys need someone to entertain some of them, I could come along sometime. I'm great with kids. I bet they are. They could climb you like a playground. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Okay. Oh, 1 second. There we go. Okay. One of my many talents. Oscar tries to slip around Leigh to mess with the fox, but this must be becoming an old routine between the two of them because Lucas just slides away without any acknowledgement. Will there be any problem with us showing up? Like I said, Bethany kicks most of the younger kids out. It'll be free inside. She'll love you guys, trust me. She's always a fan of new faces. She's very friendly. Well then, show us the way. Leigh leads us through to the main entrance. None of the kids took note of us. They must have thought that we were just one of the teenagers or maybe some of their friends visiting. The first time we visited it had been pretty quiet inside, but this time it's on a whole new level. It's dead quiet, with the only sounds being the distant cheering of the children. Whoa! This place is beautiful. You wouldn't think this was a shelter by looking at it. Miss Corin takes good care of us, and it's not just her. A lot of people pitch in to help. We usually get a few volunteers, typically high schoolers wanting something for college, but it helps. Sounds like you guys know a lot about this place, huh? Yeah, I guess I do. There's an awkward silence between us as the implication of those words clog the room. Oscar looks particularly uncomfortable, shifting from leg to leg and looking like he's ready to bolt. Sorry, man, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just messing around. It's fine. It's no secret. I'm familiar with this place. He left it at that, but it wasn't like he needed to clarify further. Everyone got the message. Well, I think it's a lovely place. Do you know where Miss Corin would be at this time? She won't be starting lunch for another hour. She'll probably be resting somewhere. She's usually pretty exhausted, so she uses the weekends to get some rest. It makes sense. She's taking care of all these kids by herself. It sounds like too much work for a single person. Well, Leigh said they got people helping, right? Plus, I bet some of the older kids help out a lot, too. Yeah, we usually take charge on weekends to give her a break. We'd make lunch, too, if we could, but she always insisted. Well, she sounds wonderful. She'll probably be in her office or sitting room. It'll be best to start. Oh my god, it is him! We're interrupted by a high-pitched voice of a young boy standing near the back of the foyer. Looks like he's in middle school. He must have come in from the back door. But from the sheer shock on his face and the way he's staring wide-eyed at Leigh, it's clear what shocked him. Guys! Guys, he's here! He dashes back out of the room, but we can still hear his shouting even as he darts back outside. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Oh boy. Ha, it's just some kids. How bad could they be? As if to spite him, a horde of children charge in from the back door and immediately swarm Leigh, asking so many questions that it's impossible to make out anything that's being said. Hey, kids, I know you're excited, but hey! Leigh's complaints get ignored as the army begins to drag him away to the backyard. He can pull away with ease if he wants to, but I get the impression he doesn't want to disappoint the kids. They look so excited to see him. Don't worry, we'll be okay. I'll take things from here. His pitiful attempts at struggle stops, and he gives me a grateful smile as our eyes meet. It's enough to remind me of the previous night, and I can feel my face flushing. Thanks, Wallace. Second, no? Crack that one open. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah, girl. And just like that, he disappears through the back, leaving the rest of us stranded in the middle of the foyer. I might have some experience with this house, but it was only a brief tour by Charlie. That was interesting. They look excited to see him. Let them have their fun. I bet they miss him. I still don't quite get it. Ask Leigh about it later. He'll probably be okay with telling you. I'll do that. I haven't done anything wrong, right? Huh? Oh, no, you're perfectly fine. It's just a personal thing. It isn't our place to say it. Right. That makes sense. Don't worry, Papa Bear. That guy is as tough as a rock. He'll be fine. Don't worry about Papa Bear. Okay. So, Wallace, where should we be going? Well, Leigh mentioned the sitting room in her office. I don't think I saw the office, but I know where the sitting room is. Maybe we should try there? Lead the way. It's just over here. It's nowhere special. I guide them over to the room on our left, much to Oscar's mild disappointment. The door is slightly ajar, and it doesn't look like it's supposed to be out of bounds. Excuse me, is anyone in here? I whisper it as I slide into the room, making sure I wouldn't cause a hassle in case we were interrupting something important. There's only one person in here, and it isn't who we're looking for. It's a familiar jackal from the last time I visited, though she's not with the bear I expected to see her with. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!